Oh God, I hate this.
Oh look, it's going everywhere. Hang on. So nobody got shot.
Where is that?
Oh look, it's everywhere.
Can't bear this bloody thing.
At first, it seemed like nothing more than a routine royal gathering inside Buckingham Palace, the kind of formal occasion that unfolds behind closed doors and rarely attracts public attention. Yet according to claims that quickly began circulating among royal commentators, one unexpected moment allegedly changed the entire atmosphere inside the palace. A single chair, a powerful symbol linked to the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, suddenly became the center of a controversy that would raise uncomfortable questions about loyalty, authority, and the future direction of the monarchy. But was this truly a challenge to royal tradition, or has the story become something much larger than the event itself? For decades, the British royal family has relied upon something that many outsiders rarely notice. Contrary to popular belief, royal power is not maintained solely through crowns, titles, or public ceremonies. Much of its strength comes from symbolism, tradition, and an unspoken understanding that certain boundaries should never be crossed. That is precisely why the alleged incident described by palace observers immediately captured attention. According to accounts that later emerged, the focus was not merely on who entered a room, who greeted whom, or even what conversations took place during the gathering. Instead, attention shifted toward an object that carried extraordinary historical weight, a chair associated in public memory with the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. What makes this story particularly fascinating is that the controversy is not really about furniture, seating arrangements, or ceremonial protocol. The deeper question involves something far more significant. When a monarch passes away, who becomes the guardian of that monarch's legacy? Is it the new king who inherits the throne? Is it the queen consort who steps into a more visible position? Or is it family members who spent decades serving alongside the previous sovereign and who feel personally responsible for protecting traditions established over generations? Those questions have followed the royal family ever since the transition from Queen Elizabeth II to King Charles III. And according to some royal commentators, this alleged dispute brought those tensions into sharper focus than ever before. As reports and claims surrounding the incident began circulating, one figure quickly emerged at the center of public discussion: Princess Anne. Unlike many members of the royal family, Princess Anne has built a reputation over several decades as someone who places duty above publicity. Royal watchers frequently describe Princess Anne as one of the hardest-working members of the monarchy, someone who rarely seeks headlines but commands considerable respect behind palace walls. Because of that reputation, many observers found themselves asking a crucial question. If Princess Anne truly reacted as strongly as some accounts suggest, what exactly prompted such a response? Why would someone known for discipline and restraint allegedly choose to make such a visible statement? At the same time, attention inevitably turned toward Queen Camilla. Ever since becoming queen, Queen Camilla has occupied one of the most challenging positions within the monarchy. Public perceptions have evolved significantly over the years, yet discussions surrounding Queen Camilla often remain intertwined with debates about tradition, acceptance, and royal legitimacy. Supporters argue that Queen Camilla has faithfully supported King Charles III through years of public scrutiny and constitutional transition. Critics, meanwhile, sometimes view Queen Camilla through a very different lens. That contrast helps explain why stories involving Queen Camilla tend to generate immediate interest, especially when they involve symbols connected to Queen Elizabeth II's historic reign. Yet another layer makes the situation even more intriguing. According to the narrative that spread among commentators, King Charles III allegedly found himself caught between two powerful forces. On one side stood Queen Camilla, the king's wife and closest companion. On the other stood Princess Anne, King Charles III's sister, and one of the few people capable of speaking from a lifetime of shared experience within the royal institution. If such tensions truly existed, they would present an extraordinarily difficult challenge. How does a monarch balance personal loyalty with institutional responsibility? How does King Charles III preserve family unity while also protecting public confidence in the monarchy itself? Those questions remain compelling because they touch on issues far larger than any individual disagreement. What is particularly striking is how quickly public attention shifted from the alleged event itself to what it supposedly represented. For many viewers following royal developments, this was no longer about a chair or a banquet room. Instead, the conversation evolved into a debate about continuity. Some royal watchers interpreted the story as evidence of a struggle between the old royal era and the new one. Others argued that the entire situation had been exaggerated and transformed into something far more dramatic than reality justified. The existence of those competing interpretations only fueled further curiosity, ensuring that discussions continued long after the initial claims appeared. And then another question began emerging among royal followers on both sides of the Atlantic. If tensions were truly building beneath the surface, could this alleged controversy reveal deeper divisions within the institution itself? Or was the public witnessing nothing more than a symbolic moment being interpreted through the lens of existing royal rivalries? As more claims, reactions, and theories started circulating, the story moved beyond the banquet hall and into a much larger debate about the future of the monarchy. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal analysis, documentary-style storytelling, and in-depth discussions about the British royal family, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest coverage. Because what reportedly happened next would raise even more questions about power, loyalty, and the hidden dynamics operating behind palace walls. If the alleged incident itself was enough to spark debate throughout royal circles, what happened afterward is what transformed a moment of controversy into a much larger conversation about influence, perception, and power inside the modern monarchy. Because according to claims that began circulating among commentators, the real battle was never going to take place in the banquet hall. The real battle would unfold in the days that followed, away from public ceremonies, away from cameras, and deep within the invisible world where reputations are either protected or damaged. And that raises an important question for you watching right now. When royal conflicts emerge, is the greater weapon public authority or control of the narrative itself? According to the story that quickly gained attention among royal followers, Queen Camilla allegedly understood that perception could be just as important as protocol. Whether those claims accurately reflect reality remains a matter of debate, yet the narrative itself reveals something fascinating about how the public views royal influence. In this version of events, Queen Camilla allegedly recognized that if Princess Anne's reaction became the dominant story, then questions about tradition, respect, and royal legacy would continue growing. Consequently, the focus supposedly shifted towards shaping how the incident would be interpreted rather than debating whether it happened at all. What makes this especially interesting is that history has repeatedly shown that royal controversies are rarely decided by a single event. More often, they are decided by whichever interpretation gains the strongest public acceptance. Meanwhile, Princess Anne reportedly chose a dramatically different approach. Instead of engaging in public arguments, issuing statements, or attempting to justify actions through palace briefings, Princess Anne was portrayed as remaining unusually silent. For many royal observers, that silence became a story in itself. Why would Princess Anne refuse to publicly defend a position if criticism was growing? Why would Princess Anne, one of the monarchy's most experienced figures, remain almost completely absent from the escalating discussion? Some commentators argue that Princess Anne understood a principle that has guided royal strategy for generations. Sometimes speaking less creates more curiosity than speaking constantly. Sometimes silence forces others to reveal far more than intended. But was Princess Anne truly waiting for the right moment? Or was Princess Anne simply avoiding a conflict that threatened to become increasingly destructive? At the center of this growing tension stood King Charles III. From the outside, many royal stories appear straightforward, with clear heroes and clear villains. Yet real institutional leadership is rarely that simple. King Charles III inherited not only the throne, but also the responsibility of preserving stability during one of the most significant transitions in modern royal history. Every decision made by King Charles III carries consequences far beyond personal relationships. If King Charles III appeared to favor Queen Camilla, critics might accuse the monarch of ignoring tradition. If King Charles III appeared to support Princess Anne, others might view that as a rejection of the Queen's role within the royal family. Suddenly, the challenge facing King Charles III was no longer about resolving a disagreement. The challenge involved protecting the credibility of the monarchy itself. Yet another development soon complicated matters even further. As discussions spread among royal commentators, the alleged dispute began attracting broader symbolism. Some observers started portraying Princess and as a defender of the Queen Elizabeth II era, while Queen Camilla increasingly became associated with the monarchy's new chapter under King Charles III. Whether that characterization was fair is open to interpretation, but its influence was undeniable. The debate gradually evolved from a question about individual actions into a larger conversation about continuity and change. Should the monarchy carefully preserve every aspect of the previous reign, or must the institution evolve to reflect a new generation of leadership? That question resonated with many viewers because it touches the very heart of what monarchies represent in the modern world. Interestingly, some royal analysts began drawing comparisons with other well-known figures within the royal family. Prince William, the future king, has often been associated with balancing tradition and modernization. Catherine, Princess of Wales, widely known as Kate Middleton, has frequently been praised for combining respect for royal customs with a contemporary public image. Even discussions involving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, often revolve around similar themes concerning institutional expectations and individual identity. Viewed through that wider lens, the alleged conflict involving Queen Camilla and Princess seemed to reflect an ongoing challenge facing the entire royal family. How can an institution built on centuries of tradition adapt without losing the very qualities that define it? And then a different question began emerging, one that few people initially considered. What if the most significant consequence was not the controversy itself, but the effect it could have on relationships behind palace walls? Royal institutions survive because family members continue working together despite disagreements. Yet when disputes become symbolic, compromise often becomes far more difficult. Once loyalty, legacy, and public perception enter the equation, even minor disagreements can leave lasting scars. Could this alleged controversy eventually fade from memory, or had it already created divisions that would prove far more difficult to repair? Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal documentaries, in-depth analysis of King Charles III, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the monarchy, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because according to some of the most intriguing claims surrounding this story, the next stage was not about public appearances at all. Instead, it involved whispers, investigations, and alleged efforts to uncover what was really happening behind the walls of Buckingham Palace. And that is where the story becomes even more complicated. The atmosphere surrounding the alleged dispute continued to grow more complicated with every passing day, not because new public statements were being released, but because so few official answers were emerging from Buckingham Palace. In many ways, that silence became one of the most intriguing elements of the entire story. Royal watchers have long understood that when the palace chooses not to comment on a developing controversy, speculation often fills the vacuum. Yet this situation appeared different. Instead of fading from public discussion, the controversy seemed to gather momentum, with commentators, historians, and longtime observers of the monarchy all attempting to understand what might be happening beneath the surface. And that raises a fascinating question for you watching right now. When an institution as experienced as the royal family remains silent, is that silence designed to calm a situation, or can silence sometimes make a controversy even more powerful? According to the narrative that continued circulating among royal commentators, Princess reportedly approached the situation with remarkable patience. Rather than responding emotionally to criticism or engaging in public battles, Princess was portrayed as carefully observing how events unfolded. That detail attracted considerable attention because Princess has spent decades navigating royal life at the highest level. Unlike newer members of the institution, Princess witnessed the reign of Queen Elizabeth II from beginning to end and developed a reputation for understanding exactly when to act and when to wait. Some royal observers even suggested that Princess refusal to publicly engage may have reflected confidence rather than caution. But if Princess truly believed time was on her side, what information might Princess have possessed that others did not? Meanwhile, discussions surrounding Queen Camilla became increasingly intense. Supporters of Queen Camilla argued that the Queen had spent years helping King Charles III modernize and stabilize the monarchy during periods of extraordinary public scrutiny. From that perspective, many believed Queen Camilla deserved greater recognition and respect than critics were willing to offer. Yet others interpreted the alleged controversy very differently. Some royal commentators suggested that the broader public conversation reflected ongoing uncertainty about how Queen Camilla's place within royal history would ultimately be remembered. Would future generations primarily view Queen Camilla as a loyal partner who supported King Charles III through immense challenges, or would debates about symbolism and tradition continue shaping public perceptions for years to come? As these discussions intensified, another fascinating development began emerging. Increasingly, commentators started examining how the younger generation of royals might view the situation. Prince William, the future king, has frequently emphasized stability, continuity, and public service throughout royal engagements. Catherine, Princess of Wales, often known internationally as Kate Middleton, has similarly become associated with a style of leadership that balances tradition with modern expectations. Because of that, some observers began wondering whether Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, might privately view disputes over royal symbolism differently from older members of the family. Could Prince William's future monarchy ultimately approach questions of protocol and legacy in a new way, or would Prince William continue defending the traditions established during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II? Yet another layer emerged when royal analysts began comparing the controversy to broader challenges facing the institution. For years, public discussions involving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have often centered on competing visions of what the monarchy should become in the 21st century. Although Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not directly connected to this alleged incident, some commentators argue that the debate reflected a recurring theme throughout modern royal history. Time and again, the royal family faces difficult questions about change, adaptation, and identity. Which traditions must remain untouched, and which traditions can evolve with society? The fact that similar questions continue appearing in different forms suggests that the monarchy's greatest challenge may not be external criticism at all. The greatest challenge may involve determining how to preserve continuity while embracing inevitable change. However, the story reportedly took an even more intriguing turn behind palace walls. According to claims that continued spreading among royal observers, some individuals allegedly began looking beyond the public narrative entirely. Instead of debating appearances, symbolism, or reactions, attention reportedly shifted toward discovering what had actually happened during the crucial moments surrounding the alleged incident. If competing versions of events were beginning to emerge, then the obvious question became impossible to ignore. Was there evidence capable of confirming one version of the story over another? And if such evidence existed, who possessed it? This is where the situation reportedly moved beyond public perception and entered far more dangerous territory. Royal controversies can often survive conflicting opinions because opinions remain subjective. Evidence, however, changes everything. Evidence has the power to transform speculation into certainty, assumptions into conclusions, and private disagreements into public crises. According to some of the most dramatic accounts surrounding the story, certain individuals allegedly believed that proof existed which could completely alter the balance of power within the ongoing dispute. Whether those claims were accurate remained unclear, but the possibility alone was enough to generate enormous interest among royal followers. And perhaps most importantly, the alleged controversy was no longer simply testing relationships between Queen Camilla, Princess, and King Charles III. The situation was beginning to test something much larger: trust itself. Trust between family members, trust between advisors, trust between competing factions within the royal household. Once trust begins to erode inside an institution built on loyalty and discretion, restoring unity becomes far more difficult than resolving the original disagreement. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this deep dive analysis of King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Princess and Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the British monarchy, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because according to the most dramatic version of the story, the next phase would involve alleged secret investigations, hidden discoveries, and a revelation that could completely change how every royal figure involved was perceived. And that is where the stakes reportedly became higher than anyone initially imagined. As the alleged controversy continued unfolding behind the walls of Buckingham Palace, the story reportedly entered an entirely new phase, one that was no longer centered on public perception alone, but on a growing search for answers. Up until this point, much of the discussion had revolved around symbolism, protocol, and competing interpretations of what had supposedly happened. Yet according to some royal commentators, a far more consequential battle was beginning to take shape beneath the surface. The central question was no longer whether tensions existed. The new question was whether those tensions were being deliberately amplified by individuals seeking to influence the outcome of the dispute. And if that were true, who stood to benefit the most? What made this stage of a story especially intriguing was the growing sense that multiple narratives were developing simultaneously. On one side stood those who viewed Queen Camilla as a loyal partner to King Charles III, a figure who had spent years helping the monarchy navigate an exceptionally complex transition period. On the other side stood observers who believed that princess and represented a direct connection to the values and traditions established during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The deeper the debate became, the more difficult it was to separate facts from interpretations. Royal history is filled with moments where perception ultimately became more influential than reality itself, and some commentators argue that this situation was beginning to follow a similar pattern. Yet according to the dramatic version of events that continued circulating among royal followers, Princess, and allegedly understood something that many others overlooked. Princess, and reportedly recognized that public arguments rarely settle institutional disputes. Instead, lasting outcomes are often determined by information, documentation, and credibility. For that reason, some accounts suggested that Princess and chose not to focus on defending personal reputation. Instead, Princess and allegedly concentrated on understanding exactly how the controversy had evolved so quickly and why certain narratives appear to spread with unusual speed. Was the growing criticism simply a natural reaction from observers, or was there a coordinated effort shaping public discussion behind the scenes? That question becomes even more fascinating when viewed through the broader context of modern royal life. Unlike previous generations, today's monarchy exists in an environment where information travels instantly across social media platforms, news websites, television broadcasts, and online communities. A single rumor can reach millions of people before official institutions even have an opportunity to respond. King Charles III has repeatedly faced the challenge of balancing royal tradition with the realities of the modern information age. Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have likewise operated within an environment where every gesture, expression, and appearance can generate worldwide discussion within minutes. Consequently, if an internal disagreement ever became public, controlling its narrative would become almost as important as resolving the disagreement itself. As speculation intensified, another important question emerged among royal watchers. What impact could such tensions have on the future image of the monarchy? Public confidence has always been one of the institution's most valuable assets. The British royal family derives much of its influence not from direct political authority, but from continuity, stability, and public trust. Any controversy that threatens those perceptions naturally attracts significant attention. Some commentators argue that even if the alleged dispute were eventually resolved, the broader conversation it triggered could leave a lasting impression. Others believe the monarchy had successfully weathered far greater storms throughout its history and would ultimately emerge stronger. Which interpretation do you find more convincing? Meanwhile, according to accounts that continued fueling public curiosity, King Charles III reportedly faced increasing pressure from multiple directions. As monarch, King Charles III could not simply view the situation through the lens of family relationships. Every decision carried institutional consequences. Any action perceived as favoring one side could risk alienating the other. Some observers suggested that this dilemma reflected one of the most difficult aspects of royal leadership. A king must often balance personal feelings with constitutional responsibilities, and those two obligations do not always point toward the same solution. If King Charles III truly found himself caught between loyalty to Queen Camilla and respect for Princess, and the challenge would have been extraordinarily complex. However, the most dramatic claims surrounding the story suggested that a turning point was approaching. According to some versions of the narrative, individuals close to the situation allegedly believed that evidence existed which could fundamentally alter public understanding of the controversy. Whether those claims had any basis in reality remained impossible to verify, yet the possibility alone generated enormous interest. Evidence has a unique power within any conflict because evidence shifts conversations away from assumptions and toward conclusions. If new information were to emerge, long-standing theories could collapse overnight. And this is where the story reportedly became even more dangerous for everyone involved. Because once evidence enters a dispute, compromise often becomes much harder. Questions of misunderstanding can evolve into questions of accountability. Personal disagreements can become institutional crises. Most importantly, relationships that once seemed durable can suddenly become fragile. Before we move into the next chapter, where the alleged search for answers reportedly leads to a dramatic confrontation that could change everything, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If you enjoy deep royal analysis covering King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Princess and Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the monarchy, you won't want to miss what comes next. Because according to the most compelling version of the story, the next development was not simply another disagreement behind palace walls. It was the moment when hidden tensions reportedly moved into the open, forcing everyone involved to confront consequences that could no longer be ignored. As the controversy allegedly approached its most decisive stage, the conversation surrounding Buckingham Palace appeared to shift once again. Until now, observers had focused on competing narratives, conflicting interpretations, and questions surrounding royal tradition. Yet according to some of the most dramatic accounts circulating among royal commentators, a moment was approaching when speculation would no longer be enough. Sooner or later, every controversy reaches a point where people stop asking what might have happened and start asking what can actually be proven. And that raises an important question for you watching right now. If evidence suddenly emerged that challenged everything people thought they knew about this dispute, would public opinion change immediately, or would long-held loyalties continue shaping perceptions regardless of the facts? According to the narrative that gained traction among certain royal followers, Princess, and allegedly understood that the controversy had evolved far beyond a disagreement involving Queen Camilla. The issue now concerned the credibility of the institution itself. For decades, Princess, and has been viewed by many observers as one of the monarchy's most dependable figures, someone whose public image has been built upon consistency, duty, and unwavering commitment to royal service. Because of that reputation, some commentators argue that Princess Anne's greatest advantage was not influence or popularity, but trust. Trust accumulated over an entire lifetime of public service can become an extraordinarily powerful asset during moments of uncertainty. Yet trust alone rarely settles disputes. The real question was whether trust could withstand an increasingly polarized debate. At the same time, pressure surrounding King Charles III reportedly continued intensifying. Royal historians often point out that the most difficult challenges facing monarchs rarely involve ceremonial responsibilities. The greatest challenges emerge when family relationships collide with institutional obligations. King Charles III has spent decades preparing for kingship, yet no preparation can entirely eliminate the complexity of balancing personal loyalty with public duty. Some royal commentators suggested that if tensions truly existed behind palace walls, King Charles III may have found himself confronting one of the most delicate situations of the reign. How does a king preserve unity when influential figures within the royal family appear to represent competing visions of tradition, authority, and legacy? Interestingly, the alleged controversy also encouraged renewed discussion about the monarchy's future leadership. Prince William, the future king, frequently finds himself at the center of conversations concerning the next chapter of the royal family. Catherine, Princess of Wales, widely known around the world as Kate Middleton, is often viewed as one of the institution's strongest public assets. Together, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, symbolize continuity for many supporters of the monarchy. Consequently, some royal observers began wondering whether future generations would handle internal disagreements differently. Would Prince William eventually adopt a more transparent approach to controversies, or would Prince William continue relying upon the traditional royal strategy of discretion and patience? Meanwhile, the broader context surrounding the royal family remained impossible to ignore. Public discussions involving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have repeatedly demonstrated how quickly private family matters can become international debates. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle transformed conversations about royal life, media relationships, and institutional expectations in ways that continue influencing public discourse today. For some analysts, the alleged conflict involving Queen Camilla and Princess Anne appeared to reflect another chapter in a much larger story. The monarchy is not simply navigating individual disagreements. The monarchy is navigating a period of profound transformation, where every symbolic moment becomes subject to intense public scrutiny. Yet perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the entire story lies elsewhere. Whether the allegations are accurate, exaggerated, or somewhere in between, the public reaction reveals something important about how people view the royal family. Viewers are not merely interested in ceremonial appearances or official announcements. Viewers are deeply interested in questions of character, duty, loyalty, and legacy. Why does a story involving tradition capture so much attention? Why do debates involving Queen Camilla, Princess, and King Charles III, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle generate such passionate discussion? The answer may be that these figures represent more than individuals. For many people, these figures represent competing ideas about leadership, responsibility, and continuity in a rapidly changing world. And that brings us back to the central question that has followed the story from the very beginning. Was this alleged controversy simply an isolated disagreement that grew larger through speculation and public interest? Or did the discussion expose deeper tensions concerning the future direction of the monarchy? Royal observers remain divided, and perhaps that division explains why the story continues attracting attention long after the original claims first appeared. As we conclude this discussion, one thing remains certain. The reign of King Charles III continues unfolding under intense public scrutiny, while Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, remain central figures in conversations about the monarchy's future. At the same time, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue influencing debates about royal identity from outside the traditional royal structure. Every development, no matter how small, becomes part of a larger narrative about where the royal family is headed next. What do you think? Do you believe the alleged dispute was primarily about symbolism and tradition, or do you think the controversy points toward larger challenges facing the monarchy in the years ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your perspective is always part of the conversation. And if you enjoyed this deep royal documentary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our future coverage of King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Princess and Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, and the evolving story of the British royal family. The next chapter may arrive sooner than anyone expects.